Good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, should I say entrepreneurs. It is certainly for me a great pleasure to welcome to this session, which is talking about stories of success. And we have a great opportunity here to share good ideas about how things went well, about particular 4 examples that we will be having today. My name is Boni Garcia Porras. I'm the head of unit for SMEs and entrepreneurship in Directorate General DG Grow in the European Commission. We've been working on the promotion of SMEs and entrepreneurship for, I would say 12 years, more than 12 years, for many, many different years in the Commission. We are focusing for many years on access to finance, on better regulation, promoting that our SMEs are indeed having a better regulatory framework conditions. We focus as well on promoting access to finance for SMEs. And we have specific policies as well on startups. And we develop sort of policies that are focused very much also on networking and facilitating good practices. And this particular conference is one of the examples of what we do. President von der Leyen announced in September this year, and you have heard it from different speakers today, the need to provide some solutions for the turbulent waters that SMEs are in. And she announced the relief package. I want this session particularly to be very practical and operational in trying to gather specific ideas around entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship, I think I'm the lucky one if compared to the other sessions. In fact, if you hear what Professor presented yesterday about the need to focus a little bit more on entrepreneurship. And in a way, he criticized the way the policies that the European Commission and in general stakeholders, SMEs, or in general member states are pushing forward. She said that we should be moving away from a policy that is very much directional, be moving more into focusing on entrepreneurship and giving a space to the entrepreneurs so that they implement these policies, that they make possible at the end of the day that we fight against climate change, that we become a more digital economy, that we achieve the green transition. So entrepreneurs, you are key. And we need your stories, we need your experience about the things that went well, about the things that didn't go that well, and in particular, your experience with regards to how the European Union, the European Commission, the member states, regional, local, and member states authorities did for you that helped you in achieving your success, your story, your company. So this is what I am looking for. I think it's going to be a very interactive participation from all the different tables. So indeed, we need your ideas. This is a unique moment because hopefully these ideas will contribute to the relief package that I was mentioning before. And so far, I am having the impression, I have to be fair with you, entrepreneurship is not that much present in the whole European policy around SMEs. This is broadcasted, but please keep it for yourself. So we need to get ideas around entrepreneurship in the paper of the relief package. So I'm counting very much on you. I will now give the floor to Caroline, which is going to make the presentation of the 4 speakers today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Boni. I'm going to try to get out of that. So that actually allows me to walk here. That's nice. So the purpose of today's session is to showcase some of Europe's best and brightest entrepreneurs and to share some of the dreams, to celebrate the diversity, to understand how they operate and what they need to be successful and to thrive. And this year, in honor of the European Year of Youth, we're bringing together the young generation of European entrepreneurs who are beacons of hope against the backdrop of uncertainty and crisis. These are the ones who are thriving in the times that we have right now because they don't know other times. And they're gonna be thriving no matter what's gonna be coming. And we hope to better understand your motivation and what drives you, and we hope to, with your stories, better understand what obstacles you have met and how actually sometimes these obstacles have inspired solutions that you yourself didn't even think you would be creating. So we're very glad to invite on stage Mark Rovira. Mark describes himself first and foremost as a father and a husband and a person curious by nature and a serial entrepreneur. You just relax and sit down. We're having a very relaxed conversation here. Mark, you're an aerospace engineer, EIT kick in energy, AirSate scholarship recipient for innovation and entrepreneurship. And you bring in experience in innovation consultancy, startups, B2C consumer, fintech, and currently building a B2B SaaS for recurrent expense management. Right, so that's like a very concrete experience. That's wonderful. We also have Marty Skena from a completely different knock of woods, right? Marty is the co-founder of A-Note Music, the leading marketplace for music investment. And that is a pioneer in transforming how the financial markets connect with the music industry to create synergies. And Marty is an awarded entrepreneur, team leader, and public speaker, and he was named Forbes Under 30 in Italy in 2022. Congratulations on that. We also have to say that we have here a powerhouse woman. We have Cosima Kovari with us. Cosima is a serial impact fempreneur and current co-founder and CEO of Ada Growth. And Cosima is actively committed to the visibility of women in our society, especially in the workplace. And Ada combines female empowerment with technology to help companies attract, retain, and grow female talent. This is such an important task right now because we have so many companies that notice we need more female talent, but don't know where to search for that and what to change about the workplace for that to actually happen. And we have Evi Oivanen, and Evi is an entrepreneur and a master's class student at Turku School of Economics in Finland. And she is the co-founder and CEO of Kuitu, a startup creating modern urban-style accessories made of upcycled materials, such as cutting surplus from the professional diving suit production. And I'm thinking we might be looking at some Christmas gift ideas here, just to say that. Okay, and in a second, you're gonna have an opportunity to share your stories with us. But as you know, we have this nice, leveled playing field here. What we also wanna do is we want you not just to listen, like in a cinema, but we actually want you to listen to understand what's behind these stories. And what about the shift in the ecosystem is being manifested with these stories? And sorry, I'm going to divide the room here into two. So I'm going to encourage this part of the room to listen through a specific lens or an arc. And this is, I want you to listen for the new definition of success. How are these young entrepreneurs defining success? What about their definition of success might be different to maybe how my parents in their companies have defined success? what are the things that, how do they view reality, and what do they search for in order to understand if they're on the good path or not, if they are being successful, and maybe how do they add things to the definition of success they had themselves. And this part of the room, you're more in the operations, right? So for you, the question is around, we have quite a generational change. We have heard, those of you who are at the Sustainable Enterprise panel, like with the generational change, enterprises are becoming not only more sustainable, but many of them are becoming sustainable by nature. Right? So it is in the design already. So the question is, what is it that you observe with the new generation coming in about the way how they do business? Like how do they do business differently to maybe people who, like me, internet entered when I was mid-career, right? So I'm never going to be internet native. This generation is way more tech savvy, way more climate conscious. Like what is it that you observe about this, how they go about making business and being successful in business? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you an opportunity to present, then we're going to have a conversation in small groups, and we're going to share. And this all is harvested by my colleague Raquel, who's in the back working on her iPad. And you're going to be able to find her recording in our Ideas Lounge right after our session. So just letting you know that we're really listening here together, really listening to understand, and listening also to share this, what we're going to be able to understand here with the wider audience. That was a lot of talk from me. Mark, we're curious to hear your story. We're curious to hear a little bit about your organization. We're curious to hear about the journey you went through, what success means to you, and what type of support is actually supporting you in your work.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you, my hosts and my colleagues, for being here. I'm one of the founders of Polaru. And basically, Polaru, very simply, we help businesses manage and deal with traditional recurrent expenses. So if you think about businesses that have to deal with water providers, electricity providers, internet providers, insurance providers, it's very complicated. For those of you that know, it's very frustrating, it's very manual. Every single provider, even within the electricity industry, every provider is different. And if you're a real estate that is managing 150 properties, you have 150 electricity contracts, water contracts. If you have 1,500 properties on Airbnb, you're paying 1,500 electricity contracts, water contracts, internet contracts. That's just very complicated, very manual. We simplify everything, we unify everything, and we make it very easy for them to manage everything through one single point of contact, which is us. This comes, and going back to one of the points you mentioned, is why are we doing this? We believe our purpose as founders, I'd say, not even as business, as Polaru, but as founders, our purpose is to really empower people and hence companies to become the best versions of themselves. If this totally goes against the fact that you're spending so much time manually speaking to providers, dealing with invoices, extracting information from invoices, and it's not helping you find your purpose as a business. If we take away all the manual work and automate everything and give you already the insights, you can then focus on your business. You can then focus on your life. This is just looking at one of the stakeholders, which is the client. But for us, success, the founders, is not only making a really good value for the client, but also for the people working at Polaru. We really want the workers of Polaru to be the best versions of themselves. We have people that came with Polaru, made a career throughout 2 or 3 years, and now are somewhere much better than Polaru, much bigger, and they're happier. For us, that's a success. The same thing with our investors. Investors invested in Polaru. Now they really love Polaru, and we have a great relationship with Polaru. And the fourth stakeholder is society. We are really helping digitalize and automate and improve everything that has to do with recurrent expense providers, traditional industries. We're really making a leap forward in technology on traditional services. So for us, that's how we define success. Really pushing forward on all our 4 stakeholders to make life better and improve society as a whole. And the way we've been funded so far, it's two different things we did in parallel. One is traditional VCs, funders, and all our investment has come from business angels. We don't have any business VC that has invested in us. It all has come with business angels that have really believed in us as founders and have followed us throughout our journey, and as well as public funding. We have received 2 different public funding supports back in Spain. One is from ENISA, the other one is from CEDETI, and that has really helped Polaru in different stages throughout our life. One very specific for one specific project we had to do, and the other one was just simply as a funding last year when we were pivoting a part of our project, and it has really helped us push forward and really. I've always defined entrepreneurs as scientists. The only difference is scientists find something that is good in terms of the material or a scientific discovery. Entrepreneurs are like scientists, but we find a business discovery. We have to find a business that makes sense, that can help improve businesses, and that can help improve an industry. And that's where we are, and having this sort of funding has really helped us. So we're really grateful for that. And I'm not sure if I left something.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm also really glad to see how well visited our panel is. And I'm speaking now to all of you at the door. There are a couple of chairs. Could people who are sitting at the tables point where there are chairs free? I can see one here and one there. Do come in, do come in. It's still, yeah. That's wonderful. Great to have you here, Bonnie. So there are, right? Okay, we can also swap. I can sit at a table. Somebody can come here to the armchair if you would like that. Okay, Marzio, would you like to share with us what your story is?
Taking the time because it's 4 minutes, and I'm kind of used at the gong, like when you do pitching sessions in front of investors. This is not the case, but I still try to stay in time. So what do we do at A-Note? A-Note is a marketplace to invest in music, something that might be new to some of you, but probably you have read on here and there in The Guardian, the Financial Times, The Economist, or something, that big artists like Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young, Shakira, Beyoncé, and you name them, have been selling their music copyright to big private equity investment firms, right? This happened since the last 2 years until now. So basically there is a huge level of interest from the financial sector into this asset class, which is music, which is very long because actually last 70 years music copyright, it provides royalties, it's growing thanks to streaming. So this is the stories that you read in the Financial Times. Actually, the point is that 99% of the music sector is cut out of the market of capital. Basically, they have lack of financing. And the music industry is very capital intensive. To make any of you famous as an artist, you need to spend money. And also, basically 99% also of retail investors, they're cut out of investing in this kind of a very emotional, still stable, with no volatility asset class. So basically, what we do is that we try to create efficiency by bringing the bridge between music and finance, by creating a marketplace, kind of aiming at becoming the NASDAQ of music, right? So it's a project which is based in Luxembourg. We're very happy about the Luxembourg ecosystem, entrepreneurial, also geographically speaking, we are the center of Europe. Amazing. Now, let's go to success and what it means success to me and to us, and what are the challenges in order to keep this kind of successful track record, let's see, for the future, especially in these kind of times. I think that from an emotional standpoint, success is looking back at what you have done in the past years and smiling. If you're able to smile and be happy and being content of the choices, especially despite adversities and so on, and somehow, again, being satisfied, I think that you can define yourself as successful. Now, looking at the future is a future in which we are going to experience, everybody says, recessions, and this is going to have a huge impact on the market, which is the one where we get the money, so the VC market. And think of Europe. In Europe, it's going to be even worse. Consider that, and this is a kind of a parallelism that I think is going to be very useful for the context where we're speaking. The differences in financing companies and new enterprises in Europe compared to the United States. In Europe, we already start with a huge handicap, meaning that we are very fragmented. We usually have very low valuations compared to Europe, and I think that this is going to be the case even more during a recession. VCs are less keen to giving funding in a moment in which, especially B2C companies like ours, actually might experience some difficulties. And this is totally in contrast with my opinion, which is a company in Europe needs much more funding compared to the United States. Good luck starting from France and conquering Germany. Good luck starting from Germany and somehow going to Spain. So you need more funding, especially in order to scale. And this is totally in contradiction with how the capital market works for entrepreneurs in Europe, at least from our point of view. Especially recently, we've seen that basically VCs are shutting their doors. They're not speaking anymore to new companies, new opportunities. Hence, you are in a company where you are growing, you want to basically scale, you know, the definition of scale, economies of scale, and you're in a moment in which you cannot do it because VC are more, you know, like. So the solution is you just go knocking on the door of VCs in the United States. So you basically change totally your business plan. Europe, amazing, yes, works well, but let's try to launch in the US. And I think this is a big pity. So what I would advocate for is in the same way that we try to increase efficiency of financial opportunities in the music sector, I'm trying to advocate also more efficiency in funding opportunities for startups at the European level.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marzio. Cosima, would you like to tell us about Ada?
I would love to. Now I would love to. Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful to be here. My name is Cosima Kova, and yeah, perfect. There's already my slide deck. Yeah, so let's start. My co-founder and I, he's also here today, founded Ada to transform the way women grow professionally using technology, building solutions directly for women around the world. Our vision is to give women a mentor in the pocket, always at arm's length, and always available to them. We came up with the idea of Ada because I've seen throughout my career that gender equality is still seen as a nice to have and not as a must have. I truly think that we can use technology to help us change the status quo. I also brought a video, maybe we can play this one so you can see really quickly what we're doing. That was the first slide, now the video, perfect.
Ada provides daily 2-minute videos where leading experts like Yvonne de Baak share concrete tips that every woman can apply in their lives. Ada uses gamification and education technology, along with follow-up questions and call to actions to encourage consistent growth. The Ada app builds your personal journey using challenges like Everybody's Darling that contain videos from categories such as language and voice and inner attitude.
Perfect. So our story, thank you. Thanks. Congrats to the content team. In November 2020, we put together the idea of Ada, and we did a soft launch to see if the market is ready for what we want to do. And we got amazing feedback, and then we tried to get national funding. And we also tried to complete a crowdfunding campaign, and we failed multiple times. But we didn't give up and continued to talk about our vision. And one day I was in an elevator with my new neighbor, and I literally gave an elevator pitch. And when we reached her floor, she said she wants to invest in Ada. And I was super excited, of course, also super overwhelmed. And the same night, I sat down with my co-founder, and we put together a strategy for our first pre-seed investment round. Now, 2 years later, we are on the market. We are growing our team. We already have impacted well-known international companies. Now I have to switch my notes. Yeah, and at Ada, because we also talked in the preparation about remote work, at Ada we mainly work remotely. We sell remotely, and also we implement our tools remotely. So we strongly believe that the work needs to include remote work because also women strongly benefit from this flexibility. Without great women like Ada Lovelace, our namesake, the first software developer in the world, we would not be able to program an app that supports women to be seen and heard. In funding, the challenges we have faced are awareness of what is out there, and also knowing where and how to start. I am asking to give more money to female entrepreneurs because we know that we are more likely to develop solutions for women. We need more money in female growth technology, and we need to increase awareness of the challenges that women face in their professional and also private life. I want to build an escalator for women instead of a staircase. and I would judge my team and I at Ada to be successful when we provide tools for women to highlight their own strengths and overcome their challenges. I'm excited to build a team at Ada that will make women's voices and strengths loud and clear going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I remember a couple of years ago, I went to the Pioneers Festival at Vienna, and at one of the investors panel, it has been said that women generally have the tendency to underpitch and overperform. So, let's work at changing that tendency, actually. Thank you for your contributions to that. Cosima and Evie, you're also on that end of the
Exactly, I am.
equation.
Yeah, and I'm super happy to be invited here. My name is Evie Oivanen, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kuitu, an accessory brand founded in 2019 in Finland. We create accessories made of pre-production leftover materials. So basically what we do is that we circulate the leftover materials of selected production companies back to our production and turn them into urban unisex style accessories, such as this one, which is why I'm wearing it, because I don't have any slides. This one, for example, is made of cutting surplus coming from a professional diving suit production. And we are an early phase company, but this year has been very successful for us. I actually took part in the EU Industry Days in February, and I got a tip from there that I should apply with my company to this Fashion for Change Accelerator program. It's meant for sustainable fashion and textile companies. And we applied, and last summer we got accepted, and this autumn we got the 10K EU funding, and we kicked off an interesting collaboration with an Amsterdam-based company called By Borre. They are this leading sustainable material producer and textile design platform, and we are helping them to minimize their slow stock yarns. And the aim is to conquer the European markets with the Kuitu accessories and make an environmental impact. And I want to say that thanks to the Fashion for Change Accelerator, which has helped us so much, that I really want to highlight the importance of these accelerators, because I think they are amazing ecosystems for knowledge transfer and encouragement, and also networking. And I also think that networking skills are also one key to success. I think that if you're able to access and build and utilize networks, you are more likely to become successful. And one more thing that I would want to take up here is that since we are planning to conquer the Europe with the accessories and make the environmental impact, we are going to need investments along the way. And what I've realized is that sometimes founders with strong sustainable passions and investors have different perceptions of what success means. For example, for me as a sustainable entrepreneur, success means truly happy customers who love the products and value the work we have done in the value chain, and also the success of making an environmental impact. And I think that often investors put a lot of emphasis on the financial success, and I think that they should understand better the work we have to do in the value chain, the time and the resources we have to spend on it in order to make it truly sustainable, even circular. And I think that if we manage to succeed with that, then the money and the financial success will follow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you to the four of you for these truly diverse stories. That was so inspirational. And if the audience is feeling any similar to how I'm feeling, I have to say, my heart has been lifted. I actually have felt hope and inspiration. So that has been, thank you for bringing also the energy into the room, because it is important. And now I would like to offer the opportunity for you at your tables to get to know each other and see whom you're sitting together with. And you're going to have, very focused 10 minutes to harvest around this. What is it that you, through the lens of these 4 stories, what do you see comes to the front in how these organizations, these companies, these entrepreneurs define success, And how is it going to impact this, how they're doing business, how they're going about business? And this part of the room, the question for you is, what is different about how these entrepreneurs are in the business environment? What differences are you spotting? What patterns are you spotting? And also, like thinking in a little bit of a longer arc, what type of policy support might they need from here going into the future so that they can be successful, as we heard also at the panel, so that they will not be stopped or blocked somewhere where it is unnecessary, right? So how do they go about business? What is the generational shift? 10 minutes. Enjoy your small groups and your table conversations. And I'm very glad to see in the smaller room, the conversations are better. If you can hear me, if you could just help me close the conversations at your table, that would be, thank you so much. That's also one way of going about it. So, all right, we still have the table over there. If we could ask you to come to a close with your conversations. Thank you so much. So, Iris, right? Sorry? Iris, yes. We're internationalizing that. Yeah, I also learned as something else than I am. Iris, you're going to support us with the mic. Thank you so much. So we would like to go through, like a couple of tables, sharing with us what is it that you have heard about how success is defined by the new generation that attracted your attention and that you think we actually, as the SME Assembly, should be listening to. Which of these tables would like to share? Okay, yeah, you're volunteering. You're wonderful. Yeah, congratulations to being chosen.
Am I working? Yeah. All right, so nice to meet you. I'm Taya, I'm from Slovenia, and I'm working with young entrepreneurs, not maybe as successful as I heard on the panel. So I mentor to the persons like you, and I'm really proud listening to you, and I hope that one day one of my Slovenian entrepreneurs will be here presenting as you are. And yeah, we were talking about what is your definition of success as we understand, and I can say that I highlight one sentence, that to be the best versions of themselves, also for the customers, and as well for the community. So I think that that's the thing of the success, not as much maybe the money and the zeros on the bank account. Yeah.
That's quite a complex driver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anything else you would like to add to how success is defined? Dana, yeah, you've hesitated for long enough.
I just, can I speak? Okay, I want to get permission. So we heard this, learn from failure. You said, look, when you look back, you have to be happy. If you're happy, it means that you learned from when it was difficult. And those learning to communicate to others. So to see how can I go forward, what have I learned? And I really like what you said on the elevator pitch. Work on your elevator pitch. Think how many floors do I have, so length, half a minute, as high, if you're in a skyscraper. And also think of the environmental impact, what you said. It's not only the financial success, that's success as we know it from the past, but it's also environmental impact and impact on society at large. What you said, that your fourth stakeholder is society. So we work in a different way. Maybe we think about that. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. One last voice from this side of the room. Please. Yes. We're doing it.
Thank you very much. From the Netherlands, city of Haarlem. So we had a wonderful discussion in this, with these wonderful people. And what we discovered is that the flexibility is a key, but also sustainability, as the fellow colleague said, that the sustainability and additional value for society, and also digitalization because all these people use the digitalization as a tool. Do I miss something?
Yes, market. And also to be concerned about the people that work for you, even though if they leave the company, that still you see it as a success, if they are happy afterwards.
Yes, happy is the key.
Thank you so much. We're turning to this side of the room to ask you about the generational shift that is happening in enterprises driven by entrepreneurs. What is different in the market? What needs our attention? What is here and is not going away, so it also is going to need support and our acknowledgement of that? Would your table maybe like to start?
No, she did the great summary.
Yeah, I will try my best to be the good ambassador of this table.
To be the best version of you right now,
yeah,
right?
I will
That's
be
what we're
my
practicing.
best. One of the topics, I give you some summary of topics I heard from the entrepreneurs. And the focus of empowering people and the clients who were working, that was something special for me. It's different between now and, decennia, years ago.
So not just satisfying clients, but empowering clients.
Empowering,
That's the shift,
clients and the people who work into the firm. I heard also a difference between collecting funding. Now you have public funding, but also the mixture of private VCs going to the market, going to America even. So that's also a different point of view. You have a lot of more kind of tools of finding funding nowadays also, of course. What heard I? The focus on sustainability and recycling products. It's also something when you see engagement for challenges like climate change, circularity. That's also very important for these young entrepreneurs. It's very good, of course. Also the network platforms, networking skills, it's very important to have, but also the working on platforms, ecosystem learning. I think it's very good to go from, in earlier times, they were thinking more locally. Now they're more working and thinking internationally.
In a natural way, right?
Yeah, not it has to be, but it's in their DNA, I would say.
Actually, in the conversations you were having, we were having also a little chat around here, around the resistance to go local and not go international, right? So this is also, like a flip in dynamics. All right, who else would like to follow up and add aspects? Please, over there.
Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from the Confederation of Swedish Enterprise, working on SME policies. First, thank you for the inspiration. It's obvious, we talked about it at our table, the passion you reflect for what you do. I think it's worth an applaud. And then just three things. Passion and drive, it's very evident that that's a key that you're all living. It's your DNA, like my previous speaker said. You're looking through the glasses of opportunity, always, not seeing the barriers. And secondly, we thought that you work a lot with building bridges, looking for value and to simplify things, not only for the company, but for your employers and society. That's a sort of a key red thread that we saw. And we also talked about the importance of, like you all are brave and bold, and that needs to be included in education through the understanding of entrepreneurship down in low ages. That we think is a key. And thirdly, regarding the policy making, wouldn't it be great if all policy making looked through the glasses of entrepreneurship and sort of had this as a filter? Does it work for you guys, the policy? Then it works for all companies.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. And we have a table here in the front. Something's happening, right? Something's happening. You know, like we're energizing the spirit that can inform the assembly, and like something's shifting in the room.
I think there's great potential in using young entrepreneurs like this for actually driving policy making. As we heard yesterday from the Schumpeter lecture, it needs innovation. They shouldn't be pushed into the current system. They can think outside of the box. They don't carry the legacy of big industries or big legacy systems. So make them as big as they are potentially. Think of them in terms of saving the world in that respect, in that respect, in that respect, and in that respect, because that's what they're doing without the legacy as hurdles of their minds. So these are the changers, and they start thinking globally, and they collaborate. They're born collaborating. The startups that I've worked with for 10, 15 years, 15 years ago, they were all considered about patents only before they would talk to anyone about anything. That's totally changed.
There's more of this like ecosystem
So
thinking.
what they can bring will change the world into the better.
Thank you so much. And we have a last voice over here.
Yes, a very concrete proposal on policy making. If Europe is really making a huge step in promoting sustainability into changing the business models of the whole ecosystem of companies. But if we want to achieve that, we need that the money financing that ecosystem is aligned with that movement. And therefore, policy making should make and push venture capital and private equity to think about impact investment and long-term. So policy making private equity and venture capital more long-term oriented, more impact oriented.
Thank you so much. And we have one last voice.
Hi, and thank you. My name is Antigone Komodiki, and I work for Junior Achievement Cyprus. Junior Achievement is serving all the European countries, almost all. Thank you for your contributions. Great. I think you are much better than us. We are not very successful on how we were thinking about the society and the environment. That's why we are here, to tackle especially the climate crisis, which we are doing pretty well. So we are talking about business, but we should go many steps back and implement this mindset from school. If we want to change things, we should start early. The policy of how to shape the mindset to respect the environment and the communities around us should start from the age of 5, and all the entrepreneurial programs that are being implemented in schools should be very well evaluated from your behalf or the behalf of EU. So everything that we put in practice should have the impact that we want. So it is sometimes very late to evaluate this when they became real entrepreneurs. We should start early. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really like what's happening in the room, which is really looking at it more systemically and looking at this, what diverse types of interventions and levers of change need to be activated for us to truly change the landscape that we're looking at. And this actually is a perfect bridge for our Slido. And I would like to encourage each of you to actually scan the QR code that is here. And we want to ask you, what are the concrete ideas that you have heard, that you're holding yourself, or that we would like to see put forward in the SME relief package? And I particularly appreciate this session for the diversity of ideas and perspectives and the systemic view on that. So if every one of you could just, submit at least one thought, one idea. We're collecting and harvesting all of them together, and to give you an opportunity to think about it for a little while, Gerardo, my colleague who is here with me as well, received a question from the online audience, and we would like to share this question with you, and maybe one of you feels compelled to share another bit of the story. Gerardo, what's the question that came via online audience?
The question is, which was the key moment when you realized you want to start your own business? What were the drivers? Okay, and it's coming from Stefan.
I think, people really enjoy to listen about the passion, the idea, the energy behind the source that is giving you your direction and supporting you on the way. Any of you all have this story, right? Is any of you particularly in a storyteller mood? Please go ahead.
Can you hear me? No?
No, not yet.
Hello?
I think it's going to come, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Wonderful.
there you go. I'll try to be brief. For me, I think trying to be an entrepreneur was something I was born with. I was always trying to help people and trying to solve problems, so that's one thing. But the moment when I started the venture I'm in right now was basically because it was a clash of two things. One, I was working for a startup and I didn't like it. And that was really frustrating for me. Like I was in Spain, I was in an aerospace startup. In a way, it looked like I was really, really happy, but I wasn't. I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. And at the same time, my brother almost died in an avalanche. So that really made me realize, like, my brother could have just gone instantly. Right now, he's my co-founder. He's fine. He's alive, so don't worry. He's my co-founder. And I think the clash of a moment of really changing your life completely, and I wasn't happy at work. It was very simple. I was like, I got to change, and I got to do something that I can really be myself and do as much as I can to this society, because literally I don't know when I can be gone.
Moments of vulnerability, moments of clarity. Thank you so much. Anybody of you wants to? Evie, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add, because we have this person from the JA Cyprus or something, yeah? Because for me, it was like I always had the entrepreneurial passion in me, but all the Kuitu story actually started from this like JA Europe course where I attended, and I think the whole atmosphere and the good spirit and the like-minded people that I met, that was like the real like kickoff for the whole thing.
Thank you so much. Bunny, I'm passing the closing word to you. What are you going to do with that?
I'm going to get up, so I feel so energetic after listening to all of you and certainly to these 4 excellent entrepreneurs that I am trying to summarize some of the conclusions of the floor, and certainly trying to gather. These are my personal sort of ideas, what I have heard, what I have seen today. Certainly, I think you have mentioned it before. These guys are very much into a culture where there is very much about empowering others. It's about win-win approach. The win-win approach perhaps was not in the past as it is now today. I mean, win-win about helping other SMEs, about sustainability. It's about helping females. It's about helping others. So this win-win approach is very much into their spirit. You've seen that before. I think they are excellent in communication. They speak perfect English. They know perfectly as well the communication techniques of elevator pitch and others. So I think this is also an element that it is fundamental in the new entrepreneurs of today, right? One thing that was not mentioned today that for me was the basics of being an entrepreneur. They had excellent ideas behind their projects. They have an idea. And when I was listening to them, I was saying to myself, well, I mean, this is a great idea. Why the hell didn't I have that when I was younger? I mean, they had ideas. This is the basics of your projects, of your. You are also very much into. That's also related to communication, into networking accelerators. You are. This is something natural for you. It was said before, happiness. Happiness, I said before, win-win. They are flexible. And I think this is good news for Europe, but also bad news as well, in the sense that they are not afraid from moving from Italy because they were critical towards Italian system, one of you. They can move to another country in the European Union, But they are not afraid to move to the United States, and they are quite critical towards the European system of finance, right? You said it. So wherever you find that that's a good place to get the elements that you need for the happiness, for the win-win of others, you will go ahead. And I think you see opportunities where others see problems. This is, for me, something extremely important. I took it very, very much. I heard from the audience as well the passion. I think we all feel a little bit more energetic after this session. And thanks to the four of you. I think something I want to make it clear. You've been very, very critical towards the EU system or the system in Europe regarding financing, and I have to take note of that. I think some of you mentioned, well, I was hearing to you bilaterally, that the European Investment Fund, which is one of our institutions in the European Union to finance this type of venture capital projects, is taking 1.5 years to provide you the finance, and you don't have the time. You said it. Yeah. You don't have the time for that. Or the financing goes through the European Investment Bank, through the national banks, and the national banks either put you certain conditions that make the project impossible for you. So we've got to be flexible, we've got to facilitate. I think some of you mentioned it. You are people that are not very bureaucratic, very into rules, which sometimes is a contradiction to the system in Europe, which is also about giving everybody opportunities, therefore respecting the rules. So we've got to try to have a balance. But you are certainly very critical towards the way we finance your projects in Europe. And if we do not do something about it, we will either continue financing the old economy, or you will basically be leaving to somewhere else where you will get better financing. So these are my personal conclusions. So certainly there are others. And thank you very much for this interactive session. Thank you very much as well for the input you have been sending us. So we'll take that into account. And I think I want to make a specific pitch, an elevator pitch, for entrepreneurship in the relief package. Let's see if we can be successful, but at least I will try that. Thank you very much.
Be lunchtime. Let's go and find out.